In 1876, these two groups of hoodlums fought each other for possession of the dance hall run by Dora Hand, the queen of Dodge City's nightlife. Dora Hand, a beautiful and mysterious young woman who was a legend in her own lifetime. Men shot or maimed one another in fights over Dora and the girls of her dance hall.
Come on, now, Jim. Get in there. Come on. Why'd you do that?
Stop it!
The fight's over. Take it easy. Now, what's all this about?
It was just an argument, Marshal. There's no need to arrest them. They'll behave.
Take them both to jail, Hal. Come on. Now, look, Miss Dora, this is the third fight you've had in her since noon.
Sam, drinks on the house. Marshal. I would have broken it up. The men listened to me.
Well, Miss Dora, that buffalo hunter would have cut him to ribbons.
Well, the railroad man started it.
Look, you've got a rough mixture here. Buffalo hunters and railroad men. You're going to have to make up your mind to bar one crowd or the other.
That's not easy, Marshal. What about the cowhands and the soldiers? No, what I need are bigger and braver barkeeps. They'll stop all the rough stuff.
Miss Dora, that isn't going to work either.
Why, there've always been fights on this side of the line. When men drink and argue about women, there are bound to be fights.
Not with knives and guns, they're not going to fight.
What's this leading to, Marshal? You plan to close me.
I sure don't want to, Miss Dora, but...
Keep out of this.
I only want to make a suggestion to Marshal Earp. I'll just say in your report that the hoorah was at my place. That way she won't get mentioned in the papers.
No, keep out of it. Mr. Kelly is in one of his gallant moods this evening. I handle my own beefs, Kelly.
You hit one of them on the head with a whiskey bottle. Is that ladylike?
I told you can never make a lady out of me. What'd you do to Jim? Are you a hypnotist or something?
Oh, man.
Earp ain't any friend of mine.
Don't try to string me. Earp's got you acting respectable. Councilman Kelly, they call him, the law and order man. Well, this is between us. You can say I'm a public nuisance and close me, I guess.
Oh, no.
Oh, shut up. Well, what's the verdict, Marshal?
Well, Miss Dora, I could sign an extra deputy here for a few days.
Yeah, good idea.
Oh, it's not a good idea at all. The Buffalo men will say you're siding in with the Santa Fe crowd, and the Santa Fe crowd will tell Major Paxton that you're favoring the Buffalo men.
Well, what do you suggest?
Well, I suggest... Why don't you let me talk to all the men? If they know that you're threatening to close me, they'll stop all the rough stuff.
All right, ma'am, you're entitled to that chance. Good evening.
Thank you, Marshal.
Now, Dora...
Oh, shut up, Kelly.
Earp, wait for me. I want to talk to you.
I thought you wanted to talk to me.
Well, I do. But not as a friend, mind you.
All right.
Don't get any wrong ideas about Miss Dora and me. She considers herself too good to marry a saloon keeper. By George, she's right.
Yes, sir.
You don't know Miss Dora. All you see is a dance hall owner and jump to conclusions.
Well, I've jumped a lot of times, Mr. Kelly, but never to a conclusion.
You might as well know the truth fair and square. I'm on Miss Dora's side.
You in love with her?
That's none of your business. Well, we hired you to keep law and order in this town, not to go sticking your nose into personal matters.
All right, Mr. Kelly, I'll have to tell you the truth, fair and square.
What truth?
Well, I can't keep Sunday school order in this part of town. I'd be a fool to even try, but I do draw the line at knifing and shooting. Well, if Miss Dora can't control her customers, she's just going to have to close.
Close her? Over my dead body.
She'll still have to close.
Earp, I had you right in the first place. You're nothing but a stupid, sanctimonious John Law. Now, let me tell you...
Hold it, Kelly. Don't get tough with the marshal. Let Major Paxton handle him.
Who's Major Paxton?
He's boss of construction for the Santa Fe, that's who.
Fine man, Paxton. I'll stand you all around the drinks on it.
You drink to the railroad, Mr. Earp?
I'm sorry, I don't drink. You can also tell Major Paxton I don't handle easy either.
Double round of drinks. Free.
All right. All right, we'll have a nice peaceable shindig.
Yeah.
Here's to Miss Dora, the Daisy Belle of Kansas.
To Miss Dora.
And we don't want any more dirty buffalo hunters causing trouble. We're going over to her place and we're going to throw them out. It will be for railroad men only.
Whoa, now, Fred, whoa.
Do you see that, Kelly? It's a lantern. We're going to hang it on the door. And that will mean that Dora's place is for railroad men only. Drinking to that, Kelly?
Well, sure. We'll all drink to that. And on the house.
On the house. On the house.
Yes, sir, this is Santa Fe night in Jim Kelly's. Any more railroad men in the house? Well, two more. Step right up here. Up here, I'm buying you a drink. Belly up. Belly up.
Better get over to the Alhambra right away. There's been a crime committed.
Kelly's? What is it, a barroom brawl?
Worse than that.
All right, put this one in the back room, too. Easy. Nice and gentle now. I don't want a bruise or a mark on him. Okay.
What happened, Mr. Kelly?
Bad liquor. They got it at Chalk Beeson's place across the street. What he uses in his whiskey, I'll never know.
Put him down, Mr. Kelly.
Well, it's just some bad liquor.
Never mind. Holy smoke. Chloral hydrate. Anybody else besides these three men get Mickey Fins?
Marshal, I swear it wasn't.
I thought you were smarter than this.
I had to do it.
Why?
They were going over to Miss Dora's to pick a fight with the buffalo hunters.
Did you know that knockout drops can kill a man? It's poisonous.
They're railroad men. You couldn't kill a railroad man with a Mickey Finn.
Chloral hydrate is a deadly poison. I had to charge you with attempted murder.
Charge me.
And I thought the old Jim Kelly was dead. That you'd put an end to all this hoodlum stuff.
Come on, lock me up.
Don't you even stop to think? Grogan and Humpy put on a dance hall fight. Now you spread that route to all the buffalo hunters and all the railroad men.
Well, I done it for her.
Dance hall girl and a pretty face.
Now you stop right there. She's a ministering angel. That's what she is.
She's what?
You go over to Reverend Hawkett's church in the morning and... No, never mind. Come on, lock me up.
Never mind. We'll do that later. I'm going to send Doc McCarty over here to take care of these men. You pay the doc, and you just better hope they all wake up by tomorrow morning.
And I'm no prude, Marshal. I expect my men to get drunk and chase dance hall girls. But I can't let it interfere with their work for the railroad. We're pushing iron. 2 to 4 miles of track a day.
Yes, sir.
It's a pretty kettle of fish. Grogan, my top boss in the spike crew, laid up with a fractured skull. 7 terriers, groggy from drugged liquor. Do you think the railroad's going to stand for this?
Well, your men kind of asked for trouble, Major Paxton.
Are you defending this Dora Hand? Am I to infer...
No, sir. I'm not taking sides with Miss Dora or Mr. Kelly. I think we may be doing them both an injustice.
Injustice? Great Scott, this Hand woman has given me more trouble than all the other dance hall operators combined. I didn't come here to argue. I demand that you close this woman's place. Run her out of Dodge.
Well, if I decide that's the way to handle it, I'll do it.
How long do you think it'll take you to make up your mind?
Not long, Major.
I'll give you until tomorrow. After that, the railroad will take it to the town council.
Well, tomorrow will be time enough.
Good.
There's just one little thing that bothers me.
Yeah?
The blanket camps outside of town are full of buffalo men. You got a big crew driving track. I think I can calm down the buffalo men. I used to be a hide hunter myself, but what about your crew?
They'll be busy in the railroad.
We'll see that they stay that way, otherwise we may have a little fight on our hands.
You going out to those buffalo camps now?
Later. Got to go to church first.
Ye kindly lie amid the encircling gloom. Lead thou me on. The night is dark, and I am far from home. Lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet. I do not ask to see the distant scene. One step enough for me.
Very good, Miss Hand. Now then, we'll try the recessional hymn.
I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me. I promised Reverend Halkett to take up a collection for him.
Oh, yes, I've forgotten. Another choir practice Saturday?
Yes, I'll be here. Good day to you all. Good day.
Good day. We'll go right to the recessional hymn. Page 119.
Well, say it.
Say what?
That I'm on the wrong side of town, that I shouldn't dast enter a church.
Well, I couldn't very well say that, Miss Doyle. After all, they let me in church, too. Mr. Kelly got mad and told me I should talk to the Reverend Halkett about you.
Kelly.
He also called you a ministering angel.
Blarney. Sure, I kicked in some money to help build the church, but so did every place else in town. The Reverend Halkett asked me to join the choir because I sing a little bit better than the rest.
Well, you have a very nice voice.
This has nothing to do with whether you're going to close my dance hall or not. Are you?
Did you talk to the men?
Yes, I talked to them. They all promised they'd stop all the rough stuff. But to be honest with you, Mr. Earp, I don't believe it.
Well, that's bad news.
Lots of people will get hurt.
Including you.
You don't have to worry about me. I'll take care of myself.
I like you, Miss Doyle.
And you like Jim Kelly. It's foolish of you, Mr. Earp. Liking us is going to get you into lots of trouble. So much trouble, you'll have to leave Dodge.
Well, I don't need anybody's help to get me into trouble.
Here it comes.
Excuse me. Wyatt, a whole section gang's gone down to that blanket camp. They say they're going to run those buffalo hunters right out of Kansas.
Guess I better saddle up. Excuse me, ma'am.
Watch yourself, Marshal. They're a pretty tough lot.
Railroad man! Jimmy!
Okay, get up. Tear it down! All right, stack it up over here.
Where's the camp down?
Camp. Hold it. You're mighty late, ain't you, Herb?
Yeah, I guess I am. Another one of your gang just burned out a buffalo camp a mile down the road. But we're in plenty of time to make you pay for the damages, and I want your hands to come up, and I want them to come up empty. Put them up, way up. All right, Mr. Fromm, you claim there was about $750 worth of damage, huh? They burn any rifles?
Yeah. 2 Sharps and a Winchester.
That's about $150 more. I'll take care of this.
You better take care of it. My whole ballast crew pulled off of the job. We're a mile and a half behind schedule.
Don't lecture me.
What was that?
I don't want any railroad big talk. Your men were caught dead to rights. They raided and burned a hide hunter's camp, and the damage is $900.
The railroad won't pay a cent.
And they stay in jail.
You had no right to arrest them. You're a town marshal.
I'm also a United States deputy marshal. If I were you, I'd get that money and get it fast. And I'll try and talk the Buffalo Hunters out of making their own raid.
Are you threatening the railroad?
I don't waste my time, Major. Now, if you don't have that money in 2 hours, I won't even try and stop.
Now, who do you think you're fooling with? Those Buffalo Hunters are tougher man for man than any cowhands you ever heard of.
What do you think they'll do?
Probably chase your crews off the rack. Tear up about 5 miles of track. That'd be my guess.
It's all your fault.
Oh?
I asked you to run that woman out of town. That fancy belle Dora Hand.
She had nothing to do with it.
Well, you're wasting your time, Major.
All right. I'll get the money. But it's blackmail.
You want to repeat that?
No, I guess not. Sorry.
Marshal, a barkeep brought a message from Miss Dora. Wants to see you right away. Says it's very important.
Yeah, all right.
And don't try to soft soap me. You got me into this mess, you and your Mickey Finn. And don't say that you did it to keep the fighting out of my place. You did it for Earp.
Earp? I don't even like him.
Oh, yes, you do. And he likes you. He told me so.
Yeah? Since when did you and Earp get so friendly?
Don't change the subject. The subject is that those hide hunters, you know what they're aiming to do to the railroad men.
Yeah, I ain't admitting that.
Better admit
Now,
it.
Dora? Now,
Earp's
Dora?
coming here. I sent for him, and you better tell him the truth because I'm tired of your hoodlum shenanigans.
I'm a hoodlum. Just look who's talking.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, Mr. Earp. Miss Dora was showing me the statue. Just feel the weight of it.
It's, quite handsome.
All right, Kelly. Tell Mr. Earp.
Tell him what?
The Buffalo Hunters are aiming to get even with the railroad crew for wrecking their camp. Jim knows all about it.
I'm keeping you out of this. There's no call for you to get in the middle between them Buffalo Hunters and the railroad.
You see, he wants to be your friend, but he's such a hoodlum he doesn't know how.
All right, I'm a hoodlum, and you're a lady.
It's an odd term.
What's an odd turn?
Well, what I mean, Mr. Kelly, is that you can't keep a peace officer out of trouble. That's what he gets paid for.
If he knows the right cards, he's got a better chance.
I'd have no chance at all.
Major Paxson offered to pay the damages. Won't that calm the boys down?
No, it's too late for damages.
All right. Well, who's leading them and where can I find them? At your place?
Tell him, Jim, or I'll never even think about marrying you.
Dora!
Well, Mr. Earp, we were going to give up this sort of life, together, both of us. But every time the chips are down, it's that old hoodlum Kelly. Well, I'm quitting the church. I'm never going to go inside there again.
No, Dora, no, I'll tell.
Don't touch me.
The Buffalo Hunters left for the end of the track about an hour ago.
With guns? They aim to bushwhack the Santa Fe, huh?
No, plain stand-up fight. Now, don't go out there. It'd be like riding between the Federals and the Johnny Rebs.
He's right, Mr. Earp. We thought it was just going to be a sneak raid.
If Major Paxson offered to pay the damages, those fellas start shooting, they'll wind up in jail. I'll see you all later.
Well, you told him, Kelly.
I hope you're satisfied. I know what I'm going to do. Break out the gun! The Buffalo Hunters! Break the cover! Grab the gun! told you. There's no way between them or behind them.
I've got the money. What do they want?
Give me the money, Major.
Use your head. Don't try to go between them. They'll cut you down.
Maybe not.
Hey, Buffalo Man, I got your money. The railroad paid the damages. Hold your fire.
Get back, Wyatt. It's too late for talking.
Go back, Miss Dora. Go back.
It is Miss Dora. Hold your fire.
Quit shooting. You'll hit Miss Dora.
You ain't hurt, Miss Dora.
No, I'm not, but it's a small wonder. You idiots out here shooting at each other in a darn fool row. Put down your guns, all of you. Or you'll never get a welcome again from me or my girls, and I mean it.
Look, the railroad paid your damages, $900.
It ain't enough, Wyatt.
Well, that's all you're going to get. Now, if you men hang around here with guns, the railroad's going to start the soldiers after you. You buffalo hunters haven't changed a bit from the days I was a hide hunter. You're all still stubborn and cantankerous.
Well, that settles it. Unless you behave yourselves, no more Buffalo men welcome in my dance hall.
Oh, we take the deal, Miss Dora, and we behave, don't we, boys?
Yeah, we agree to that, don't we, fellas? Yeah, we agree. No more fighting.
Now, you can take this to the city council. That's your privilege. But what Miss Dora Hand did this afternoon more than makes up for any trouble that was caused at her place. Now, I'll argue against closing her. Jim Kelly controls the majority vote in the council.
Well, I guess you're right. No hard feelings?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Quite a woman, isn't she?
Can I tell her that? It's coming from you?
Great Scott, no. I'm a happily married man.
Evening, Miss Dora.
Oh, howdy.
Did you have your talk with Reverend Hawken?
He wants me to stay on in the choir. The women are raising such Ned. I've caused enough trouble already. Foolish notion. Me in a church.
Now, wait a minute. What is the church for except for good people and sinners? I'll go on back in there and tell them what they...
Whoa, Marshal. Love thy neighbor. Be good to them that hate you, remember?
Don't smile. You don't feel like smiling.
No, I don't. You were about to say...
I was about to say that in this town of women, you're a great lady.
Thank you.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West.
The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien. Clay Allison was probably the most dangerous of all the killers who challenged Wyatt's authority as Marshal of Dodge City in 1876. Modern doctors would diagnose Allison as an alcoholic psychopath, but to the men of the western frontier, his character was baffling. Only a rough and ready psychologist like Wyatt Earp stood any chance in personal conflict with Allison. And for Marshal Earp, there was the deadly risk of guessing wrong.
Clay Allison's on his way into town. He's coming to gun Marshal Earp.
You go warn Miss Dora. I'll find her. Wyatt. This is private, Hal. Gotta excuse us.
Sure, Mr. Kelly.
Well, you look all out of breath.
We may both be out of breath. Permanent.
When are you looking for that to happen?
Remember my telling you I suspected Pete Albright of setting a price on your head? Well, I was right. He's hired Clay Allison. Clay Allison.
You sure?
Yep.
Mr. Allison in town?
Not yet, but maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Now, don't try any smart aleck stuff with Allison. Just go down to Front Street and shoot him off his horse. Clay'll know I warned you. It's my skin I'm thinking of.
You see, you let a good impulse overpower you again.
Impulse nothing. Everybody's got the fool idea I'm a friend of yours. And they'll tell Clay Allison that. Well, what are you going to do?
Well, how well do you know Mr. Allison?
Too well. I got drunk with him a couple of times when I was in the Army. It's a miracle he didn't blow my head off.
Why didn't he?
I was on furlough and I didn't pack a gun. And Allison didn't reach a killing edge. When he drinks, he's got to get a real edge on before he kills. Well, now get started for Front Street, unless you're scared.
Sit down, Mr. Kelly.
But sit down? Well, man, you got no time to sit down.
Just sit down, Mr. Kelly, and tell me about Mr. Allison. Now, if he's going to come gunning for me, I better know a little bit about him. Maybe your life will depend on it.
Hey, mister.
Yeah?
You better step inside. There's word that Clay Allison's on his way here.
That's all.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly's place, huh?
Yeah, but he ain't here. He went to warn Marshal Earp about Allison.
I did. I reckon I'll step out of the sun while I wait.
Yeah, you do that, mister. The guns, mister. It's town law to check them on that rack yonder.
All right. Give me some whiskey.
All right, sir.
Oh, and I might add, I'm an old friend of Kelly's.
Oh, no friend of Kelly's, huh? Well, that makes a difference. Must have been before Kelly come to Dodge.
That's right. Jim was in the Army.
Oh, in the Army?
That smells like pretty fair whiskey.
It's out of Mr. Kelly's own bottle, mister. I got standing orders. Any friend of his is a friend of... Did I miss hearing your name?
Jim knows me.
Oh. Now, come on, or are you just stalling?
One more question, Mr. Kelly. What does Mr. Allison worry about?
Well...
Our drinkers usually worry about something. Does he ever mention the men that he's killed, or talk about the fight, or try and defend the killing?
Allison? What silly talk. Why should he bother his head about it? No, the only thing I ever heard him worry about was these cartridges.
Cartridges?
He don't use factory loads. Does all his own loading, just to make sure he don't have a misfire. Well, that's enough jabber. You're scared of Allison.
Yes, I am.
In solemn truth? You're gonna hunch a hole? I don't understand you, Wyatt.
Look, I'm trying to understand the reasoning of this man, Allison. Well, he's afraid, so he drinks to kill his fear. The drink gives him courage to do the killing. So he winds up being hostile towards everybody. I think I'm beginning to see what makes him tick. I just hope I can handle him.
Wyatt, Clay Allison's in town.
Where?
Mr. Kelly's saloon.
I knew it. You'll think I'm your friend and shoot me down.
Marshal Earp, Clay Allison wants to see you at the Alhambra saloon.
You tell him I'll be down in a half hour or so. I haven't had my dinner yet.
Clay ain't gonna like being kept waiting.
In a half hour, tell him.
I thought you were gonna run. Wish there was something I could do to help you.
Oh, there is. You can encourage Mr. Allison to get drunk in a hurry.
You want him to reach a killing edge real quick?
Mm-hmm. You tell him I said that, will you?
Never doubt it. I'll tell him. And the sooner he gets rid of you, the better I'll feel. Well, howdy, Clay. Haven't seen you in ages.
Howdy, Jim. Hey, you always did have decent manners.
Well, the man I like, sure. Hold that. I'll join you. Soapy. Yes, sir.
This is right fine whiskey, Jim.
Is this my bottle? Yes, sir. Then you got the best. Well, Clay, here's to old times.
Old times. Yeah, you're real polite, Jim. Tell me, why don't you teach Wyatt Earp some manners?
How's that?
Well, I sent him word I wanted to see him, talk to him. He sent back a message that I'd have to wait until he ate dinner. That's kind of rude, I'd say.
Forget it and drink up.
No. Where does Earp generally have dinner, Jim?
One place or another?
I'll find him.
Clay, what's your complaint against Earp?
No complaint, Jim. I just want to find out if he's as brave as his friends brag. I'll see you after a while.
Sure, Clay. Soapy?
Yes, sir?
How many did he have?
2.
Just 2? Would he go against Earp cold sober?
Time will tell.
Pardon me, mister. You're supposed to check those guns. That's Marshal Earp over there.
All right. So that's Wyatt Earp, huh? The great Wyatt Earp. I've been wanting to talk to him. Mr. Earp, my name's Allison, Clay Allison.
Oh, glad to know you, Mr. Allison. Did you get my message?
Yeah? I told Jim Kelly you didn't have decent manners. Then maybe I'm being rude, disturbing a man at his victuals, huh?
Well, you're not disturbing me. Sit down.
Thanks.
You, wanted to talk to me about something?
Yeah. There's been a lot of mean gossip about me.
Oh?
You may hear it. They say I take money for gunning a man.
Oh, I've heard stories like that.
Well, they ain't true. Any fights I ever been in, money had nothing to do with them.
I believe that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Say, what make of these?
No make. I load my own.
You do? That's a mighty fine job. You set the primer absolutely flush, huh? You know, I had to stop hand loading because I used to set a bumpy primer. Thing would hang up in the cylinder.
You must be clumsy with tools.
All thumbs. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of forgetful, too. Once I double-loaded a shell and almost broke my wrist when the gun went off.
Well, I never forget. My memory's perfect. I'd rather trust it than some factory loader.
Well, if a man's got a perfect memory and if he doesn't drink, why, it's smart to use hand loads.
What's drinking got to do with it?
Well, they say it's kind of rough on the brain. If it's kept up too long.
I've heard all that doctor talk. Injures a man's recollection, they say. But I never hand load when I drink. And I've never had a shell miss fire on me.
No? Well, you're mighty lucky, Mr. Allison. Hope you never do.
Are you a betting man?
Well, I've been known to sometimes.
Got about 100 cartridges on me. I'll let you load my guns, picking shells out of the 100. And I'll bet you 20 to 1 they all fire. I'll make it 30 to 1. You game to bet?
Yeah, all right. Why don't you strap on your guns? We'll go out back to the livery stable.
Good.
Oh, now, don't you worry, Miss Jean. We'll be careful. Miss Jean's kind of afraid of guns.
Oh?
There you are, Mr. Allison. All fresh loads.
Thank you, Mr. Earp.
30 to 1 you don't have a misfire, huh?
That's right.
Why don't you just cut down on those tin cans over there?
see? My guns never misfire. Pay me.
Well, that's real fine shooting, Mr. Allison. $1.
Thank you. Come on over to Jim Kelly's. I'll buy you a drink.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but I don't drink. I'll see you around, though.
Sure. Well, where you been?
Waiting to talk to you in private. I heard a couple of shots. I thought maybe you...
Not yet, Albright. In my own time.
I got the men I promised to back you.
Where?
They're lounging around over at my store. I also got the money.
Didn't you hear what I said the other day?
Don't get sore. I thought maybe you changed your mind.
No. I just finished denying to Earp that dirty gossip.
All right, all right.
It ain't all right. You started that talk about paying me.
No, Clay, no! No!
2 misfires. Forgot to reload my guns. Get on your feet.
That's just a joke, huh, Clay?
Yeah, sure, just a joke. It's the first time I ever forgot to reload after firing my guns. Earp did it. Him and his jabber about my memory. He talked me into forgetting. It's another reason to kill him. A John Law acting smart aleck with me.
Well, reload it and go get him.
No. I'll have me one drink first.
Kelly.
Hey.
Sure, Clay.
I got smallpox. Sit down, my dear old friend.
Well, hold it. You're almost out of liquor.
Never mind. Just sit down. I want you to know that I don't like your choice of new friends. And I mean Wyatt Earp.
He's no friend of mine.
You are a liar, Kelly. You warned him I was coming to town. You've been trying to make me drunk.
You are drunk, and don't call me a liar.
Keep your fist to yourself and sit down. It's better. Did you see that draw? Now look at his gun barrel. Not a quiver. Steady on your belly, Kelly. Not like that. Steady on your belly, Kelly. It ought to be a song.
You're not fuzzy drunk yet. You're just mean drunk.
That's right. My cartridges are all fired. I proved that to Earp. There, you see? The gun went off, didn't it? I got your man right where I wanted to get him. I feel fast but steady. You see any chance for Earp?
Not much. Nope.
Honest, Jim Kelly, you made the right answer. You know I like you, Kelly. That's why you ain't dead. But I don't like Earp. He thinks she's too brave. Quiet, my friend. Where you been? You said I'd see you around.
Who fired that shot in there?
Oh, the barkeep started for a gun. I didn't hurt him much. I just creased his hand. Ask Jim Kelly.
I will.
I'll be all right in a second, Wyatt. It's just liquor makes me dizzy. I took too much, I reckon. Oh, Wyatt. You know, I don't feel very good, Wyatt. I think I'll go into the alley.
Yeah, you do that, Mr. Allison.
Where's Allison?
Went around in the alley to drink himself some more courage.
Well, take this and cut him in two.
No. Mr. Allison's only got a couple of six-shooters.
Well, go after him. He winged Soapy and threatened to kill me. Well, what are you stalling for now?
I don't want to have to kill him, Mr. Kelly.
Well, why not?
Will you just take it easy?
Easy, he says. Clay Allison at the killing edge, and he takes it easy. Well, now, you can't hide in here. The whole town's watching you and Clay.
Yeah, and they're all just blind stupid like you are.
Oh, they are they?
Look, I had the drop on Mr. Allison out there. I could have buffaloed him over the head or shot him.
Then why didn't you?
Because he's crazy. Drunk crazy. I want to give him one more chance.
To kill you?
Maybe. But I'm hoping he'll just get so drunk he'll quit. Well, we may have to shoot it out. I'm not saying it won't end that way. But I thought at least you'd have enough sense to understand.
Man waiting to get killed's easy to figure. You're tired of living.
Oh, look, Mr. Kelly, listen to me, will you?
Huh? There's nothing wrong with my eyes.
Yeah, you can do the job.
Here. Hold it waist high. It's pretty fast, huh?
Plenty fast.
Yeah. Wyatt up trying to worry me about my cartridges. Any man stooped to a trick like that is just plain yellow.
He's hiding in Kelly's saloon.
I'll get him out of there. But how do I know his deputies won't gun me in the back?
Take a look at my store. There's a dozen men in there willing to back you up.
I'll tell you something, Albright. I don't need him. You go fetch my horse. I kill a marshal, I want to get out of town quick.
Hey, you Johnny Laws. You go tell Herb to quit hiding. Tell him to come out here and make his fight.
The worst thing a marshal can do is to kill a man, no? Sure, you may think he deserves it, but his relatives and friends don't. That's why Billy Brooks and John Allen had to leave Dodge City. They found themselves ringed with enemies.
Yeah.
And the low-downest thing a man can do is to make gunplay against drunks. If the drunk dies, why, well, they say you took advantage of him. If you die, they...
Quiet.
If you die, why, you're considered mighty poor to get killed by a drunk. Yeah.
Clay's yelling for you to come make your fight.
Now, where?
It's outside Albright's store. I think there's about a dozen cowhands inside. I believe they got the guns with them.
All right.
Well, shouldn't me and the boys take the guns away from those cowhands first?
No, you just stay where I told you. I'll be out there directly.
Okay.
Why do you get just too drunk and fall over?
He's had his chance.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kill him.
Afraid I'm gonna have to.
Tie him off.
Come on out of your hole, Herb. I ain't waiting all day.
Mr. Allison, I don't want you to depend on my habit of only wounding a man.
You ain't scaring me. Well, go ahead. Draw. Draw!
It's your move.
What's the matter, Albright? What are you scared of? You offered me $1,000 to gun him. You promised plenty of men to back me up. Well, there's Earp and there's his deputies. You want me to take them on all by myself?
All over.
Look out, he's coming.
You may have to drop. Watch Albright's men.
His name is Wyatt Earp, and he's the marshal here in Dodge City. Dodge City of all places. But that's why I know it's real. Dodge is very real. There's nothing but dust and the hot Kansas sun and...
You hear that, Earp? Why don't you try to stop me from celebrating? Where's this big man? Look out, Driscoll, it's Earp!
Wyatt, are you hurt?
It was Fabian. No, ma'am, I'm not hurt at all, thanks.
But he is. Did you shoot him?
Oh, no, ma'am. I just hit Mr. Driscoll over the head. A bit.
Oh, but he's bleeding.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sullivan, would you take Mr. Driscoll to jail, please?
But Wyatt, shouldn't he have a doctor?
And send for Doc McCarty.
I'm sorry, Mr. Earp.
Forget it. Miss Fabian, you don't belong here.
Oh, but I was afraid that...
Now, the judge isn't going to like this. You made yourself kind of prominent.
I embarrassed you. I'm sorry.
Well, it isn't that. It's just that you shouldn't rush out when you hear gunfire. You might get yourself hurt.
Would that bother you?
Yes, ma'am, it sure would. To say nothing about how your father'd feel.
Don't tell me you're afraid of my father. Or of public opinion.
Look, Miss Sally, this is Dodge City. Like I've been trying to tell you for a week, it's a rough town. Mr. Driscoll was drunk, carrying guns in the street. They were loaded with real bullets.
All right. Once more, I'm sorry.
Will you promise me not to rush out of the hotel when you hear gunfire?
All right. Why don't you come in and talk to me?
Well, I'd like nothing better, but I can't right now.
Why not?
Well, you see, Mr. Driscoll's a friend of Mr. Rakel, and they were drinking together, and I gotta go find Mr. Rakel before he cuts loose.
I didn't dream life in a little western town could be so simple-minded.
Well, you get your father to tell you how simple-minded drunks and gunslingers can be.
No, you explain it to me. In half an hour?
I'll be back in 30 minutes.
I'll be waiting then.
Where's Mr. Rakel?
Oh, the Long Branch Saloon, picking a fight with the dealer.
Hey, let's go.
You and the teachers at Miss Finchley's won't believe me, but I've just returned from a street fight. My dear Wyatt had to hit a drunken man on the head with a pistol. He is still Miss Sallying me, but this time he called me Miss Fabian, so I mustn't...
Besides, you tin-horn Johnny Law, I'm gonna teach this little runt.
You're under arrest, Mr. Rakel.
You can't arrest me, Herb. This town belongs to the Rakel and the Driscoll outfit.
Not anymore.
Why, Mr. Rakel?
Well, my old friend Judge Fabian. Judge, tell this young hoodlum
Lock him up.
Oh, one moment, Herb. I'm well acquainted with Mr. Rakel.
I'm sorry, Judge, but he pulled a gun on this man.
Oh, now, Mr. Rakel...
I said lock him up. I'm sure the judge doesn't want to argue this case in the street.
Anything I can do to help, Judge?
Yes, Mr. Albright. Try to talk some sense into that young hothead.
I'll take care of it right away, Your Honor.
Why, Papa. You look angry.
Oh, it's that young Marshall fellow, Herb. He had the cheek to arrest Bob Rakel.
Who's Mr. Rakel?
Why, he and Toby Driscoll have the two largest cattle spreads anywhere. Both fine men. Fine men.
And they're both in jail.
What?
Well, Wyatt arrested Mr. Driscoll about 10 minutes ago. He was drunk and shooting guns in the street.
Oh, no. Toby and Bob do $1 million worth of business in a year. Did I hear you call that fellow Wyatt?
Yes.
Since when are you on first-name terms with Mr. Earp?
I've been seeing him, Papa. Every chance I can get.
You and Earp?
I'm in love with him. I intend to marry Wyatt if he'll have me.
If he'll... I think we'd best talk about this later.
Let's talk about it right now.
Well, I've got to go to the jail.
Papa, Wyatt hasn't asked me, so don't blame him. Or at least, well, I do have some pride.
I've always been patient with you.
Toby, what are you doing in here?
Same as you, I reckon. But you'll never make this stick, Wyatt.
Look, you were drinking and shooting guns in the street, and that'll stick.
Oh, no, you're not, Herb. Turn them both loose. That's an order.
From who?
From Judge Fabian.
He hasn't heard the evidence yet.
Now, you wait a minute.
Get in there, too. Listen to you in court.
By that time, you won't be in any shape to listen.
If you want to bring your men in, try it. Albright tried it. He offered Clay Allison $1,000 to gun me. You know, the trouble with you big pistols is you turn into pop guns every time a fight's offered. Well, you'll have to stay here and watch him. But you better get some cotton to plug your ears.
Judge, what's on your mind?
Well, I started to the jail to talk to Earp, but for personal reasons, I decided not to.
No use talking to him.
With George Hoover away, you're acting mayor. Yep. Well, can't you persuade Earp to release Bob and Toby?
No, sir. He threw Pete Albright in the same cell.
Albright, eh? It won't do, Mr. Kelly. You realize that, don't you?
Well...
Earp has to release those men. If he doesn't, he'll have both the Rakel and the Driscoll outfits treeing the town. Doesn't the young fool have any respect for his own life?
None at all. He'll never make old bones.
And that's satisfactory to you, huh?
Listen, I ain't had a moment's peace since Earp got here. He's near got me killed 4 times. The finest funeral I'd pay for him.
You sound sincere.
I am that, on oath.
Then why not discharge the man? Isn't that the simplest way out?
No, sir.
Huh?
He's like my own conscience, Judge. Bedeviling me day and night. A man can't discharge his own conscience.
You rate Mr. Earp rather high.
The bravest and the best, sir. I hate him, and I envy him.
You gonna back him in this play?
I've no choice. And neither of you, Judge. What, Lord save us all, the man's right.
My daughter seems to agree with you.
Yes. And you talk to Wyatt about that. It's a father's duty.
Well, a young man with the character you give
And
him.
he'll die young. So he's no business leaving your Miss Sally a widow.
I agree with you. And I will talk to him.
Oh, good for you, Judge.
You Rakel's men? I'm Toby Driscoll's foreman.
Oh, yeah, you're big rants, aren't you?
Wyatt Earp threw both Driscoll and Rakel in jail.
Threw them both in jail for what?
Getting a little drunk. Us Driscolls aim to go after Earp. How about you?
Well, I don't know. He's pretty fast on the draw.
Gunning's too good for him. We got other plans. Tell you about it on the way to Dodge.
All right. Come on, boys. Let's ride.
Just 1 second, sir. Wyatt, Judge Fabian to see you.
Oh, thank you, Hal. Sit down, sir.
Thank you. I came to see you on a personal matter.
Look, sir, if it's about Driscoll and the...
No. I will find them in court tomorrow morning.
Well, thank you, sir. You see, it's sort of a test case. We can't afford to treat the cattle owners any different than the hired hands. You see...
Quite so. My daughter tells me that she's been seeing you, socially.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Earp, you're in a dangerous profession.
Yes, sir.
I don't think Sally understands just how dangerous it is.
Well, I sure tried to tell her.
You in love with Sally?
Well, sir, I hope not. But I'm afraid I am.
Why do you say you hope not?
Well, sir, for the same reason you came here. We both know what kind of a life a peace officer lives, what can happen to him. You see, Sally's from Boston, and well, sometimes I get the feeling that, well, that she thinks Dodge City is just a great big Wild West show.
Yes, I'm certain of that. I don't think she realizes just how violent and brutal life on the frontier can be.
Well, sir, that's why I haven't,
Asked her to marry you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope you'll give yourself time to do some more thinking about it. I can't pretend that Sally would follow my wishes. She's like her mother, who insisted that we move west after the war. This country demanded more of my wife than her health could stand. I blame myself. That's why well, thank you for hearing me out.
Yes, sir.
Good day, Marshal.
Is it so dreadful you can't tell me? What did my father say to you?
Just what every father would say. He was really very nice about it. What he had to say made sense.
Wyatt, my father's prejudice against this country for women on account of my mother.
I know. He doesn't want you to marry a man in my line of work.
So that's it. He's afraid I couldn't face up against the daily fear of your being hurt. I'm a coward.
You think about it.
I don't want to think about it. Wyatt, you are in love with me.
Yes, I am. But it can't come true. Not right now.
Why not?
Because of what you are, Sally, and what I am. What life in Dodge is like. You can't just marry.
Why didn't you shoot back?
He was aiming high. He was just trying to warn me.
I think I would have shot back. You see, I really am quite tough.
No, you're not.
Wyatt, did I faint? Am I crying?
We haven't seen a man get hit with a .45 slug yet.
I saw you hit Mr. Driscoll with a gun.
Oh, you do have courage, Sally.
More courage than you. I'd marry you tomorrow. Say yes, Wyatt. Accept the proposal of this bold, bad woman who loves you so.
Sally, I love you so much that
Then it's settled. I'm going to be Mrs. Wyatt Earp. You can't escape now, dear.
Darling, I don't want to escape. I just want you to be sure that...
Wyatt! Wyatt! You better take Miss Sally right straight back to the hotel.
Why?
The Driscoll and Rakel outfits are headed for town. Slap his face and wake him up from dreaming. He's the marshal of Dodge City, and if he don't think quick, he's going to be dead.
Dead?
Well, I hate to be so blunt, but you need to learn the truth.
Mr. Kelly is an excitable Irisher, Sally.
Don't let Mr. Earp blarney you. There's a bunch of mean, killing cowhands coming after him.
Very well, then. I'll have my father deputize every man in town. We'll fight them.
Not this boy. He'll try to do it all by himself.
Oh, now, Wyatt, you're not that foolhardy, are you?
Look, I've had men coming after me ever since I started as a marshal. 9 times out of 10, it was a false alarm, and the other times... Well, I'm still living. Now, you go on back to your place and soak your head in a bucket of water. I'll talk to you later. Mr. Kelly has a large imagination.
Whatever my faults, I ain't a widow maker.
Widow maker. Is that supposed to frighten me?
Oh, no, it's just bad-tempered Kelly talk.
I wonder if my father couldn't have planned this whole thing. It's quite possible.
No.
Then if it is true about the cowhands, what are you going to do?
Well, I tell you, I'm going to take you back to your hotel, and I'm going to go have a nice long talk with Mr. Kelly.
But the cowhands, he said they were going to...
Punch you one. I've let all your remarks about marriage pass, but what you pulled tonight was just about the limit.
Well, save your strength. You're gonna need it in the morning.
For what?
You ever hear of Big Rance, the foreman for Toby Driscoll?
No, I can't say as I have. Is he faster than Clay Allison?
He don't fight with guns. He fights with these fists.
Oh, well, that'll be a nice change.
Well, you won't think so. He's bigger than you are, and he's whipped every top fighter from here to San Antonio.
You trying to tell me that all they're gonna do is try and get me into a fist fight with Rance?
Driscoll and Rakel ain't stupid. They know Judge Fabian would call in the soldiers and hang any man who tried to gun you.
All right, so there's much ado about nothing.
Nothing, is it? Rance will beat you to a bloody pulp. You'll live a cripple the rest of your days, if you don't die.
Maybe. Now, what was the idea of trying to scare Miss Sally? I asked you a question.
And you'll get no answer from me. If you don't know what's wrong with you marrying a girl like her, I'd never get it through your thick head.
That widowmaker remark, huh?
Look, I got some fine brass knuckles around here. You better try them on for size.
I don't need your brass knuckles or anything else. So you think I'll leave Miss Sally a widow, huh?
It ain't likely. When Big Rance gets through with you, there couldn't even be a marriage. Now quit being a fool and put these in your pocket.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I've seen Big Rance fight. At least let me show you some of his dirty tricks.
I'm not interested, Mr. Kelly. But in regards to Miss Sally, if I ever hear this...
Get out of my place! I won't sleep a wink tonight. I'll see Big Rance's fists breaking your jaw and cracking your ribs. He wears Mexican spurs on his boots, and I can see him now.
Mr. Kelly, will you kindly shut up? I found myself a brave girl. You know, you're the one that ought to be wearing skirts. Sometimes I think you're my friend, other times I think you're my enemy. You do me a favor tomorrow morning and be my friend, huh?
What's the deal?
Just don't try and stop the fight. Promise? Oh, and I hope you'll stand up for me at my wedding.
You're dreaming, Wyatt.
Judge finds us each $100. 300. Count it.
It's all right, Mr. Driscoll. I trust you when you're sober.
Thanks. One other piece of business, Earp. A lot of our boys are waiting outside. They're not packing guns.
Yeah, I noticed that through the window.
My foreman, Mr. Rance, would like to have a talk with you. That is, if you'll take off your guns and keep your deputies from interrupting the conversation.
I tell you, Mr. Driscoll, I've already issued the necessary orders. I just hope you gentlemen have picked out a nice ringside section.
We're going to enjoy every second you last.
Your name, Rance?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Give him the spurs, Rance.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it! What happened? Why is Wyatt fighting?
He had no choice.
You stop him! He's lost his mind! He'll put his eyes out! You'll blind him!
Can't stop a fight. Rance won't, Rich.
Come on, get up. Give it up again. Come on. What's going on? Come on, Wyatt.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it!
Come on. Give it. Rance. Get him now, Rance. Get him.
Throw some water on. You can take more of a beating than this.
No, Wyatt, please! You've whipped him!
Stay
Get
back,
up!
Sally. Keep her back.
He's had all he can take.
All right. Anybody else want some?
Yeah, I do. The Driscolls can't whoop you. Us Rakels can.
No, Wyatt, don't fight anymore!
She's right. You're tired. Look, I either run this town or I don't.
Come on, get up!
Should have gone back to the hotel.
You didn't have to fight that other man. It was brutal.
I meant a brutal business. I told you that. Now you know.
Yes. Now I know.
I think the fight's over, but you better put these on. She'll feel better about it after she thinks about it.
No. No, she won't. She didn't even have to slap my face.
Were understandably alarmed when they heard that a reporter for the great and influential New York Herald would be stopping off to write a story about conditions. As for Marshal Earp, it would be a cruel test of his efficiency as a peace officer. Dozens of penny shockers had spread the bad name of Dodge City throughout the land. But if a correspondent of the New York Herald could be impressed by one quiet day,
So this is the rip-roaring Dodge City, eh? Where's the dead man they serve up for breakfast?
Mr. Jensen, welcome to Dodge. I'm George Hoover, the mayor.
Oh, how do you do?
And these gentlemen are council members Kelly.
Sir.
Moffett.
How do you do?
Gale.
Hello.
And our marshal, Mr. Earp.
Howdy.
Well, the famous Mr. Earp. When's the shooting start, Marshal?
Well, I kind of asked all the boys to hold off on that until after you got here. I think the first thing on the program is breakfast.
Well, yes, at my house. The rig's just across the street.
Thank you very much, sir. Oh, isn't Mr. Earp coming with us?
Well, of course.
Oh, thanks, but I got to feed my prisoners. I'll see you later.
By all means. I'll expect an interview.
Marshal Earp! Fight! Mom says you better come in a hurry.
Toby, just not so loud.
But Mom says you gotta stop him from fighting or she will.
All right. Now, who's fighting?
The dogs. Bosco, that belongs to Mr. Willett, and Avery, that belongs to Mr. Sam Donovan. Mom says it's against the law, and if you don't stop him, she'll do it with a shotgun.
Where's the fight?
Behind the Long Branch Saloon, right next to our backyard.
I'll be with you in a second.
Hurry, sir. Don't wait to put on your coat. Mom will get to shooting.
Yes, shut up! Didn't you men hear what I said?
Oh, no, it's her again.
I said Toby for the marshal. But if he don't come and stop it, I'll stop it.
Keep your temper, Sarah. Dogfighting's a sport like boxing or anything.
No, it ain't. When men fight, that's their business. But sicking two poor dogs on each other, that's dirty, mean, and cruel.
Pay no attention, Sam. Are all the bets in? All the bets
come
down?
on, everybody get
down. All right, form a circle, man. Form a circle.
Come on.
Spread out. Spread out. I want Jack to get the first barrel, and Sam the other one.
Don't shoot, Mom. I'm from Marshal Earp.
Sorry, gentlemen, no dogfights.
Yeah, why not?
Because you're disturbing Mrs. Cullen, and I don't like dogfights.
No? You just like to fight with guns, huh?
Well, I tell you, Mr. Willett, I don't mind a good fist fight. Why don't you and Mr. Donovan fight? I'll referee.
It's a good idea.
But if you want your dogs to do the fighting for you, then you better go outside the city limits where I can't stop you.
We'll have it some other time. When Nosy Sarah ain't around. And how about her threatening us with that gun, Deacon Earp?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Donovan, you can file a complaint, but then I'd have to charge you with cruelty to your dog.
Me? Cruel to him?
Now, you've been starving Avery to keep him in bad temper. You just move along, Mr. Donovan. I haven't finished my breakfast yet, and I'm kind of bad tempered myself. You better put away that gun, Mrs. Cullen.
Sure, Mr. Earp. And I thank you kindly.
Just about time for Toby to get ready for Sunday school, isn't it?
Aw, Mom, do I gotta?
Yes. Come on.
Mr. Earp needs me. Something else might happen. And I'm a special deputy on Saturdays and Sundays. Ain't I, Mr. Earp?
Oh, you've been a mighty big help, Mr. Toby.
No, he hasn't. He goes galloping after you, yelling bloody murder.
But, Mom!
There's a newspaper man from New York in town. Now, what'll he think of us? No chasing after Mr. Earp today, and not a yell out of you.
Yes'm. So long, Mr. Earp.
I'll put you back on the force next weekend, Toby.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks, Hal.
Sure. Nice, quiet Sunday, Wyatt. You can use one.
The whole town can use one, especially today.
Oh, you're talking about that newspaper fellow over at Mayor Hoover's, huh?
Mm-hmm. Hal, the eyes of the New York Herald are upon us.
Who cares what they think?
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. See, the city's trying to borrow some money, and an awful lot depends on how much...
Uh-oh.
Gosh, Mr. Herb, didn't you hear the fire bell? It's old man Cayley's shed. I saw the smoke just as I started
Toby.
for Sunday school, and the flames... Yes, sir?
The fire department will take care of Mr. Cayley's shed.
Toby, why don't you stop dogging Mr. Earp? He started one breakfast, then all of
All right. Shed will burn clean down before they get those firemen collected. Poor old man.
What?
Mr. Cayley's in the shed, dead drunk. Oh, excuse me for mentioning it. I know the shortest cut, Mr. Earp.
You try and eat the breakfast.
You stay here.
Don't try it, Mr. Earp. You'll get burnt up.
Come on, Oh, darn fool stuff. Start dipping your buckets in full water, boys. Mighty hot in there. Guess I'll make a try at getting Earp out. Drunk, dead to the world. Let her burn, boys. Save the water in case the house starts to hot up.
All right, then, we won't use it.
Mighty spunky work, Marshal. But you ought to arrest him. Third fire he started this year.
It's grand larceny, Mr. Earp.
It's just too much to drink. Now, you keep him here. Make him watch it burn.
I'll let his house burn, too. Have a stronger effect.
Now, don't you worry, Mr. Cayley. They won't let your house burn. You still got plenty of time to make Sunday school.
What are you sorting me for? I didn't yell fire on the street.
I'm not sorry. You did a good deed.
Then I don't have to go. I can coast maybe until next Sunday.
Master Toby, you are in no state of grace to allow any coasting.
But I helped you save Mr. Cayley and the shed.
Now, do you want me to cancel your appointment as special deputy?
No, sir. I'll go.
Excuse me, Mr. Jensen. I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Not at all, Marshal. Trouble in town?
Nothing like that. Just a quiet, normal day. Excuse me, I'm gonna get myself a little slicked up for church.
Now, Marshal, aren't you pulling my leg?
In what way, Mr. Jensen?
All this talk about how quiet and peaceful Dodge City is. I've had quite a bit of it from your mayor and councilman. Is this town really civilized?
No, sir, not yet.
How long have you been marshal here, Mr. Earp?
Oh, about 3 months now.
How many men have you had to kill in the line of duty?
Well, none so far.
Really? But there have been killings here. Pitched gun battles, that sort of thing?
Oh, yeah. Been a few killings and gunfights.
But this is just a normal, quiet day. Not a shot fired since...
Excuse me, Mr. Jensen. I'll be back in a minute.
Go on.
Hal, I come up.
Come on, back here.
Come on. Drunken discharging weapons in the street.
Those men were just showing off, Mr. Jensen.
Well, nobody got hurt.
Oh. I wish you'd put that in your paper. You know, 90% of all the wildness in Dodge is just bragging and bluster like that. You see, it's...
Indians, Mr. Earp. A big bunch of dull-nice men on the warpath. It'll be a massacre. Reverend Halcott sent everybody home from Sunday school, and...
Hold it. Now, there's no truth in this, is there, Toby?
Yes, sir, there sure is. They're right outside the town, and they sent a message to Mayor Hoover.
You sure?
There he is now, and Mr. Kelly. That'll prove it.
Now, son, it's all right. I can't understand this, Wyatt. A buffalo hunter brought it in. He says there's a war party of Cheyennes this side of the river.
Folks are getting a little excited, Wyatt.
Excited? They're scared. Mom's loading the shotgun with slugs.
Yeah, they want to send a powwow man into town. Guess I better ride out there.
Alone? Oh, heaven save us all.
Mr. Jensen, I kind of like to have you go along with me out there.
Well, that's foolhardy, Wyatt. Why don't we let the powwow man come in and say what he has to say?
Because he wouldn't get 50 yards down Front Street. I don't think there's too much risk in it, Mr. Jensen. Anyway, I'd kind of like to have you see how wild rumors run in our town.
Very well. Glad to accompany you, Marshal.
Wyatt, you want to get him killed by Indians?
If he's even scratched, the New York
Mr.
Herald...
Mayor, I take it for granted that Mr. Jensen is here to write the truth about us. Isn't that right, Mr. Jensen?
That's right, Mr. Earp.
Can we borrow your buggy? Oh, and keep young Toby here.
Dull Knife and his people are on the warpath, you know.
We're friendly. I help Mr. Cousin, Mr. Brother. They're blood kin to Dull Knife. Promise safe conduct to me and anybody with me.
The Cheyennes out there know that?
I sure hope so.
Are your friends here?
No. What's the trouble?
No trouble. Much. My brother got arrow in leg. He went white man's doctor.
Put him on a horse.
You shoot him, huh?
No.
What is your name?
Earp. Wyatt Earp.
Mr. Cousin of Yellowhand, say you are a good man. Is there also good white doctor?
Doc McCarty. Very good doctor.
I will put my brother on horse.
I'm most grateful, Mr. Earp. This is the best story I've collected on my travels.
Quiet, no violence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, afraid I missed church. I'd like to have you be my guest for dinner.
Thank you, but I doubt if I'll have much of an appetite. Indians scare me. We've given them so many good reasons to shoot.
Marshal Earp! You better come quick. It's Frog-Face Perkins and Mr. Kelly. Frog-Face says he's going to shoot Mr. Kelly. And Mr. Kelly, he's got a gun.
All right, all right. Why don't you break it up?
Perkins ain't armed. I figure it's a lot of talk.
No, it ain't. There'll be a bloody gunfight, Mr. Earp.
Toby, I think your mother wants you. Al, take the Indian on over to Doc McCarty's. Mr. Jensen, I'll see you over at the Dodge House in about 10 minutes.
And I say you're a cheat and a swindler, Kelly. You just hang on to that gun. I'm going to get my own gun.
Well, Mr. Perkins, now what's all this row between you and Mr. Kelly?
He knows. Maybe he'll tell you.
Let him go for his gun, Wyatt. I ain't running.
Now, wait a minute. Put that gun up, Mr. Kelly. Now, there's not going to be any gunfighting today. If I catch either one of you with a gun, there's going to be trouble. You understand?
All right. You're the law.
Councilman Kelly.
Well, I'm in the right of the quarrel.
Well, then fight it out some other day. Just when I got this newspaper man thinking we're half civilized, you go and bust loose.
Ah, I told George Hoover we could never hide what we are. Let them New York papers print what they like.
Mr. Kelly, $100,000 is a big loan in these days.
We won't get it.
Well, we might. If Jensen doesn't go and print us up as a rowdy bunch. Now, I'm going to ask you as a personal favor not to get in any trouble today. How about it?
Well, for what Perkins called me, I should blow his gizzard out. But I owe you the favor.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Aaron go brah.
Porterhouse steak, 25 cents. Roast of buffalo hump, 30 cents. Prairie chicken fricassee, 20 cents. I'll have to show this menu to Delmonico's when I get back to New York.
Well, I recommend a quail on toast. It's very good.
But that's 50 cents. I don't want to put on airs.
You get 2 whole quail, more than you can eat, with vegetables and all.
Well...
Yeah, it's just a horse race. I kind of wish the boys wouldn't use Front Street, though. Well, Sully, I'll start with some oysters and some quail on toast. And...
Marshal Earp! Marshal Earp!
I thought I told you that you were supposed
It's a crooked race, Mr. Earp. The Bardee rider fouled that Lazy H pony.
Will you please go home?
Yes, sir. But don't blame me if the Lazy H'ers go for their guns. And if they don't kill a few, the gamblers will. But don't blame me.
You go ahead and order. I'll be right back.
Our horse got fouled. You hit him across the face with your quirt just as he was going to pass you.
That's a dirty lie. We want fair and square. You Lazy H's are just crybabying to get out of paying the bets.
We ain't paying no bets.
You don't welch on us. We'll get our guns and then we'll collect.
We got guns, too.
You bet we should.
Let's get this settled.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know who was fouled, and I don't care, but I'm calling all bets off.
All right. Then we'll run the race over.
Next Sunday.
What big-headed notion is this, Earp? You can't tell us
Yes,
what...
I'm telling you. Now, all bets are off, and the race is postponed 1 week. You understand? I'll break it up.
I'll bet you not.
Go on.
Where's Jensen?
Oh, he went with Mr. Kelly. Looked at Boot Hill just before dark.
Yeah, I reckon they went back to Kelly's place to have a drink. Yeah. What do you think we put it over?
Hope so. You want some milk?
No. Well, it has been a quiet day. No killings, no gunfights, and only 2 arrests.
Yeah, well, we all tried to sit on the lid.
Jensen couldn't write anything wild and woolly about us.
Well, not yet, no, but I'll sure be a lot happier when he's on that night stage for Kansas City.
Maybe you should have stayed with him, Wyatt.
He took quite a shine to Jim Kelly.
Wish I had more confidence in Jim.
Come on, you like Mr. Kelly. Anyway, he's what the newspaper men call a colorful personality.
Yes, that's right, but... Toby, are you still dogging Mr. Earp around?
No, sir.
Well, it must be good news. Whatever it's bad news, he comes in on the gallop.
I guess it's good.
What do you mean, Toby?
Well, I don't think Frog-Faced Perkins would actually kill Mr. Jensen. He might kill Mr. Kelly, but what's he got against Mr. Jensen?
Well, come on out with it. Did Frog-Face have his guns?
A gun, yes, sir.
Well, then what happened? I mean, where are they?
Boot Hill Cemetery.
Good heavens. Tell us, boy.
Nothing much to tell, I guess. Frog-Faced Perkins sneaked up and caught him at Boot Hill.
Well, then what did they do?
Well, he said he was going to shoot Mr. Kelly and then shoot Mr. Jensen because he'd be a witness. But I don't think he'd actually shoot Mr. Jensen.
Well, how long ago was this?
Just before dark.
Good heavens above. What happened after Perkins put a gun on him?
I don't know. I got scared and ran. It'd soon be dark in Boot Hill, and that's a scary place, and I wouldn't be scared with Mr. Earp along. Is it all right if I go too?
No, you go home. And if I ever catch you running after Mr. Earp again, I'll send you to reform school.
Reform school?
The reform school.
Reform school.
Your time is about up, Kelly. You gonna buy a footstone from my pal's grave?
Never. I spent all the money you give me for the headstone, and $12 more.
Why, that headstone ain't worth no $70. You're a no good cheat, Kelly. You're the lowest skunking cheat there is. Robbing the dead.
Mr. Perkins.
Yeah?
I see no need for this morbid talk. I don't defend Mr. Kelly. He's a stubborn Irishman.
You hear that, Kelly?
But that's no reason for committing cold-blooded murder. I'm reaching for money, not a gun.
I don't want your money. I want him to pay.
Not 1 red cent.
All right. I'll give you 10 seconds to say a prayer. Now start praying.
You start. Shoot him, Wyatt.
Ought to break his arm.
Go ahead.
No, stop it. That wouldn't make nice reading in the Herald, Mr. Earp.
No, I guess it wouldn't, Mr. Jensen. Come on, Mr. Kelly. Give me a hand over to Doc McCarty's. Get the scalp stitched up.
You're hooligans, all of you.
Ruthless, brutal hooligans. Listen to that now. You keep Frog-Face from murdering the both of us, and he calls you names.
He'll change his mind when he's had a chance to think about it.
I'll take a look in your trunk rack if you don't mind.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Earp. You hold up stages in your spare time?
Well, I thought so.
Oh, Mr. Earp.
Now, come on, get out of there.
All right, Willie. Go on. Bye, Mr. Jensen.
What did you think you were doing?
Mayor Hoover threatened to send me to reform school.
Well, that's just a joke, Toby. But what Mr. Jensen's going to write about us won't be any joke.
Why should he write bad things about us? Nobody did anything much. It was a nice, quiet day.
Sure. But when you get to be an old man and read about Dodge City in the history books, well, there just won't be any quiet days at all.
Why?
Well, because the quiet days, the ones where people didn't do any fighting or killing or steal each other blind, well, they just won't be counted in the history books.
But doesn't the good Lord count them, Mr. Earp?
Yes, Toby.
Often been charged by his enemies with hating cowhands and bearing a grudge against them. Historians of the frontier have refuted this accusation, but it was a serious matter to Marshal Earp in the Dodge City of 1876. Hundreds of cowhands made the town what R.M. Wright, a local diarist, called the cowboy capital. Marshal Earp and a handful of deputies had a tough job, keeping the peace in Dodge City. This meant daily clashes with cowhands, determined to celebrate their brief vacations from the hard work, the perils, and the loneliness of cattle ranges.
You're taking my last dollar and I can't get a job. Sure, I'll get out of town, but I'll take some of you with me. Fellow law, I'll be waiting for him at the Santa Fe station.
Wyatt, fool cowhand broke loose in front of the Long Branch Cafe, wounded 2 men.
Yeah? Where is he now?
He's holed up in the Santa Fe warehouse. I guess we're going to have to blow him out, Marshal.
Maybe, but wait a minute.
What do you know about that warehouse? Oh, Wyatt, he's just a punk kid. A couple of shots will blow him out.
Maybe not, Hal. You say he wounded 2 men?
He fired his gun at a sidewalk crowd, wounded 2 people. Mr. Todd and Mr. Chalmers. He didn't even know him.
Did you get his name?
Yeah. Milburn. Thad Milburn, somebody said. Why, do you know him?
Milburn? Well, that's an alias Billy the Kid uses.
No, he's older than Billy the Kid.
Come on, Pete, this might be serious. Anyway, you're not going to blast him out with any shotgun.
That warehouse has a heavy door. The rest of it's double timber.
All right, we'll starve him out or use dynamite. Milburn's on a real rampage. I'm afraid...
Al, I'm afraid, too. Now, you and Pete go on down there and try and talk him out. If you won't come, just watch the door. Anyway, get behind some cover, but don't shoot.
Well, what's the idea, Wyatt?
Well, I want to arrest Milburn, not kill him. Well, maybe he's off balance. Maybe he had a reason for what he did. Anyway, I just want you to go down there and watch him until I get there.
Yes, sir. Those cowhands hate us enough without using buckshot on a fool kid.
Hey, Marshal. Hey, did you get that fella?
No, not yet.
Stole a horse and run out of town, huh?
No, he's holed up down at the Santa Fe warehouse. What do you know about him?
Well, not much. In fact, nothing at all. You see, well,
Go on, anything will help.
well, last night, this cowhand turns up at my barn, and his horse was on his last leg. All right, I'm coming. How you want?
I don't like to disturb you, mister, but my horse is kind of sick, and
Well, I ain't no regular horse doctor.
Oh, he don't need nothing but a good night's rest in a warm stall.
Well, might have ganders or something. Huh. Don't look like it's nothing contagious. Maybe I ought to drench him with turpentine.
Well, are you sure that'll help him?
Well, I ain't making no promises. All I know is he's ailing, and a turpentine drench might bring him out of it.
Well, all right.
That'll be $1 for his board and $2 for doctoring him. In advance.
I'll be back in about an hour. Put him in a stall, but hold off on that doctrine. What's the best gambling place in this town?
Oh, around on Front Street, Long Branch Saloon.
We'll get well, Tony, the both of us. You just take it easy.
That's all I know, or care. Say, why ain't you down to Santa Fe arresting that rascal? Shot 2 men, didn't he?
No, my deputies are watching Melbourne. And you say that you think he went down to the Long Branch after he left here last night, huh?
Well, I ain't swearing to it.
Well, I'll go down and check Mr. Beeson, the Long Branch. Thanks.
Hey, Milburn! We're deputy marshals.
Come out of there, you ain't got a chance.
Come and get me!
I'd like to have a few words with you, Mr. Beeson.
Why, sure, Wyatt.
That young Milburn, was he playing fair on here last night?
That wild cowhand? Yeah, he was.
What happened?
Just about what you'd expect, Wyatt. Lost $40 or $50, all he had. Then, like most cowhands that lose all their money.
You down from the bottom. Let me see that box. You took my last dime. I'm out of a job. All right. I don't want any trouble.
You get out of my place, cowhand, and you stay out.
All I want is my gun.
Throw it out the door. Now get out. Just a stinking cowman, Marshal. Ain't you got him in jail?
No, not yet. Your dealer cheat him?
Cheat him? Certainly not. You know, you would have said being a friend of Jim Kelly.
What's Jim Kelly got to do with it?
Just this, Marshal. That kid left here, he went right down the street to Jim Kelly's place. Now, if he got cheated or bad liquor, that's where he got it.
Well, I don't think so, but I'll ask Mr. Kelly.
Go devil and come St. Patrick. A cowhand with guns running wild, and you ask questions about what happened last night. Is Milburn a cousin of yours?
You know, he might be my kid brother.
You poked fun at me from a soft heart.
Now, look, Mr. Kelly, there's no other way of getting Milburn out of that place except to dynamite it and maybe kill him. Now, you say he pawned his gun with you, and then he won about $110.
That's right.
Where'd he go from here?
Well, let's see. I got it. He said he was looking for a job. Somebody mentioned that Tex Davis was at the Dodge Hotel.
Excuse me, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, Jack?
Hal sent word that Milburn is threatening to come out and make a fight of it with him and Pete.
Hal wants to know what you want to do.
Tell them to wing the kid if they have to. I'll be down there in a few minutes.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you want him just winged, you better do it yourself. Pete and Hal won't take chances. They'll kill him.
No. Not against orders, they won't. Now, I'm going to go try and find Mr. Tex Davis.
He's right over there.
You know, I don't know who to put in jail. Thad Milburn or Dodge City.
Lord save all here. Wyatt's losing his mind.
Howdy, Mr. Davis.
Well, howdy, Wyatt. Here, draw up a chair. Have something to drink. Bartender, hey!
Nothing for me, thanks.
Oh, not even a glass of milk?
I just wanted to ask you a question, sir.
Oh, well, fire away, son. Fire away.
Did a young fella by the name of Thad Milburn ask you for a job last night?
Oh, blasted. Now you spoiled my drink.
How's that?
Milburn! Ornery little son of a mule. I tell you, Wyatt, I should have shot him. I just should have shot him dead. He came walking up to me and my lady friend on the porch.
Excuse me, sir. Are you Mr. Tex Davis?
Right, son. That's my name.
I wanted to know if you could use another hand.
Oh, yeah? Where you from?
Montana.
What outfit?
Mr. Granville Stewart's.
Oh, yeah. I sure heard about him. Why'd you quit?
Well, it was personal reasons, sir.
Personal reasons?
I didn't commit any crime, Mr. Davis.
Now, look, son, what makes you think you could ride with a Texas outfit? Look at him. Spindle-shanked young pup from the north where his belly's blue and his back is yellow. Stand aside, Yank.
Not very good manners.
Oh. You aiming to teach me?
It might help to pretend that you're a gentleman.
Oh, no, Colonel.
Let
please.
go my arm!
Don't. He's drunk.
Yeah, I should have shot him. But I turned on my heel and I left them both flat. And it served that girl right. You got that crazy kid in jail?
Oh, you're also of the opinion that I should put him in jail, huh, Mr.
Well,
Davis?
of course I am. Of course I am. The idea of him thinking he can ride with a Texas outfit. Why, sir, in Montana, do you know that they're putting up fences? They're looping the range with fences?
Oh, that's very sad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Davis.
Oh, that's very sad.
Get your guns cocked, Johnny Law. Here I come.
Did we hit him? Huh? Did we hit him any?
No, shooting trying to wing a man is harder than trying to kill him. Tell Hank to get the dynamite. We're gonna need it ready when Wyatt gets here.
Right.
Who is it?
Marshal Earp, Mister.
What do you want?
Well, I'd like to ask you a few questions about Thad Milburn.
Well, all right. Did you shoot him? Is this for the coroner's inquest?
No, he's still alive.
In jail? You tell me, and I'll tell you, Mr. Earp. Otherwise, no conversation.
That's fair enough. Now, what I'm trying to find out is why Milburn would shoot into a crowd of innocent bystanders this morning. Does that make sense to you?
Sure. One of the most sensible things I ever saw a cowhand do was what Milburn did.
Why do you say that?
Thad wasn't treated very good in this town, Mr. Earp. I suppose you talked to Mr. Kelly, Mr. Beeson, and Colonel Davis. A mean cowhand would have killed Davis. Thad had every right to shoot him. Colonel was so drunk he could hardly stand up, much less hit the side of a barn with a Derringer pistol.
All right. I've traced Milburn to the point where he met you on the Dodge Hotel porch. What happened after that?
You gonna quote me around? Get me in trouble?
No. But Milburn's holed up at the Santa Fe warehouse. He's threatened to shoot it out with my deputies. I gotta know the truth about him and know it quick.
All right. You get the truth. Last night, on the porch. Don't be a fool, Cowhand. We got a real tough marshal.
Yeah. Wyatt Earp. What were you doing out with that old man anyway?
I figured him for $100, maybe two. But you kind of spoiled it.
Are you hard up, broke?
Never mind. Get on your way. The colonel might come back.
Well, he's sore at you the same as me. I'll walk along with you wherever you're going.
No, thanks.
Well, I gotta go to the livery stable and look after my horse. You sure you'll be all right, miss?
Just look after your horse.
Tony's kind of sick, or I wouldn't go rushing off.
Wait. Did you leave him at Ruger's or Brown's?
Well, Ruger's.
Uh-oh. I'll walk along with you if you don't mind.
I'd be right pleased, ma'am. This town's kind of lonesome. I guess he's closed and gone home.
No, there's a light on in here.
Maybe he's had to doctor him. I asked him to hold off on the doctor until I got back.
Wait, Thad. Give me your gun.
Huh?
Just give it to me.
Well, what did you do that for?
I know old man Ruger. Mr. Ruger!
Yeah? What do you want? Eh? Oh, you should have come back sooner. I couldn't do nothing for that horse.
Where is he?
He's in there. Where'd you pick him up?
Same place you did, Dodge City.
Oh, I tried to be friendly and decent.
In a pig's eye you did.
I asked you not to doctor him.
Well, sure, but the poor critter went into a fit. I dosed him with heart pills. It's all I could do. But he was too far gone.
Where's my saddle?
Well, I'm holding it.
Why?
It'll cost me $10 to bury that horse. Have you got it?
You know what I think, mister? I think you killed Tony, and now you're trying to hold me up for burying him.
I don't care what you think. $10 cash, or I keep the saddle.
You horse-killing thief.
Stop it, then. You haven't got a chance. You're a cowhand. Let go of him.
I'm burying myself the first thing at sunup, and he better be just like he is. You try to skin that horse to sell his hide, I'll kill you.
Come on, Dad.
Is that the last time you saw Milburn?
What do you take me for? Or him? Came back here and had a drink.
Oh, I see.
No, you don't see. Thad slept on the floor. He had nightmares. Mostly about being lost in a blizzard up north. Montana.
All right.
It ain't all right. None of it. He's a decent, simple kid. Had to quit riding herd up there because he almost froze to death once. The doctor told him to move south. All he wanted in this town was fair treatment and a chance to do the only thing he ever worked at. Being a cowhand.
Did you give him fair treatment, Miss Ginger?
No.
Come on. Where's the money you won at Mr. Kelly's place?
I earned it, didn't I? He would have killed Davis and Ruger.
Come on. What time did he leave her?
I don't know. I guess around sunup to bury his horse.
Hal, where's Mr. Earp? Well, I don't know. Ain't he been down here yet?
No, we ain't got time to stall around any longer.
He started snapping at everybody.
train will be in at 4 o'clock. He might even go shooting up the train.
Well, we'll rig the fuse to the dynamite.
Oh, howdy, Marshal.
You tell me the truth.
Hey, who you pushing around?
You!
No, now.
Now, wasn't Milburn here this morning come sunup?
Yes, he come here at sunup to bury that horse.
What happened?
Well, I'd already skinned the horse.
How come he didn't skin you?
I didn't let him see me. I hid up in the loft.
Too bad.
Well, he owed me money. And he's a thief besides. My Winchester and all my cartridges are missing from the office. You're a fine city marshal, you are. Rousting an honest citizen around while that no-good cowhand's on the loose ready to shoot up the town.
Well, it's a wonder he didn't shoot up the town. Commencing with you. Is this his saddle?
Yeah.
Well, you just keep it for him, you understand?
Yeah.
Wyatt! Wyatt, have you lost your good senses entirely?
No, but I almost lost my temper.
Well, never
This horse
mind
killing
about
old-
him. You know what your deputies are fixing to do? They're going to blow up that kid with dynamite.
No, they won't. They got their orders.
Orders, is it? Well, you'd better get over to the Santa Fe and enforce them.
Well, I found out all I need to know about Mr. Milburn. Here, lend me your hat and coat, will you?
What?
Just take off the coat. Milburn's never seen me. I want to look like a cattleman.
Why?
Don't ask so many questions, Mr. Kelly. I'm going into the Secret Service.
We'll keep him busy here. You sneak around back and plant the dynamite. Dig it in good so the whole place will blow.
Well, maybe we ought to wait a minute. Wyatt gave us strict orders.
I'll take the blame. We haven't got time. The train will be here in about 5 minutes. Go on.
Hey, Milburn, we waited long enough. Come on out or get blown out.
You can't bluff me, Johnny Law.
It ain't no bluff, kid. We got 20 sticks of dynamite planted in the back.
I think you're a liar, but I'm coming out as coal in here. Maybe you can warm me up.
Hold it! Hey, you in there. Hey, Callahan.
What do you want?
Well, I'd like to have a few words with you. And you, Johnny Laws, you hold your fire. I'm looking for a good cowhand.
Hank! Hank, hold your fire. Don't let anything.
Sonny, you in there, you be kind of easy on that trigger. I'm looking for a hand, but I don't aim to get myself killed trying to hire none.
This better not be a trick, mister.
Well, it ain't no trick. Just open up the door.
Close the door. How come those deputies listen to you? They claim they got this place mined with dynamite.
Well, you know, I wouldn't put it past them. You know, it's just no end to the dirty tricks that Dodge City play on a cowhand.
Who told you so much?
Well, I'm kind of an old...
Stand back.
I'm kind of an old settler in these parts. I've been here about 4 months now.
Settler? Thought you said you were a cattleman. Who are you? What's your name?
Wyatt Earp.
It is a trick. Turn around. No guns. I don't get it. You must have sense enough to know I can hold you as a hostage.
You sure can, Mr. Milburn. But after what Mr. Beeson, Davis, Ruger, and that girl did to you, I couldn't blame you a bit if you shot me in the back.
Turn around, Mr. Earp. How do you know what's happened to me in this town?
Well, I kind of made it my business to find out.
Why would you go to all that trouble for me? I'm nothing but a cowhand.
You know, you look all right, but you better have the doc see that leg.
Maybe I'm stupid, but I sure don't understand any of this.
Well, Mr. Milburn, I'm of the opinion that a cowhand is a human being. I'm kind of fond of my own horse, too. I could have busted Mr. Ruger's head after I saw what he did to your Tony.
Thanks.
Oh, I almost forgot it. I got the money that Ginger owed you for.
I still don't trust you, Mr. Earp. You're going out of here in front of me.
That'd be a good idea. You ready to go? Well, you better bring that Winchester. It might come in handy.
Mr. Milburn, I told Ruger to give you back your saddle. Buy yourself a horse and ride out of town.
Sure, have a posse after me?
No posse.
What's the catch?
You wounded 2 men under extreme provocation. But if you stand trial, I promise to get you off on a suspended sentence. Now, if you don't believe that, you can take it on the run.
Do like the marshal says, cowhand. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be living now.
I had the match lit, kid.
All right, Mr. Earp. I stand trial.
I'll take him over to Doc McCarty's.
Marshal, you know, you committed a mighty serious crime.
His fame and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien, presented by... The job of marshal in a western cowtown of the 1870s had a brief life expectancy. Wyatt Earp had lived through the taming of Ellsworth and Wichita by the speed of his guns and the skill of his fists. But Dodge City was bigger and tougher. Hoodlums, drunken cowhands, and a few businessmen who wanted a wide-open town had determined to get rid of Marshal Earp by killing him. Thus far, alertness and luck had been with the marshal. They had been with Wild Bill Hickok, too, until an assassin's bullet crashed into his head. In the early autumn of 1876, Marshal Earp was closer to death than he had ever been before. What his enemies planned for him was no face-to-face showdown with a hired gunfighter. It was a plot far more subtle and deadly.
Ellie, you're driving me crazy.
Easy. Oh.
No, I'm...
Temper.
Me, I've never gone through anything like this in my life. Now, do you love me or don't you?
More than ever.
Well, you haven't sold the saloon.
Well, it takes a little time to find the right buyer.
Oh, quit stalling, Kelly. It took me 2 days to sell my dance, so now get out.
No, I'll sell it. I'll sell it.
When?
Well, just give me a couple more days to find...
No, today.
But, honey...
Don't try to sweet talk me. When I agreed to marry you, we said we'd get out of the dance hall and the saloon business, didn't we?
Be reasonable, Dora. The only real good offer I've had's from Butch McGuire.
So?
Well, he's a newcomer to town. I don't know much about him. Can't sell the Alhambra to just anybody.
Goodbye, Kelly.
But what if McGuire's a cook?
A saloon is a saloon, and it's either the Alhambra or me, and you've chosen the Alhambra.
No, I'll sell it. Today.
Well, get going, then.
Ah, that's proof I'm crazy about you. Ah, Dora.
Now, don't try to sweet talk me. We've had enough of this mushing around. We'll have time for it later on. Now, go sell the saloon.
I will. I will. Now, if you can reform, so can I.
Prove it.
Well, I'll be right back here with the money. I got just as strong a character as you got.
Bring back the money and the contract, Kelly.
I will. That I will.
Ah, Mr. Kelly. You look kind of discouraged. What's the matter?
I want no pity from you. I don't know what I came here for. All I ever get from you is good, sound, moral advice. If there's anything I hate, that's it.
Now, why don't you quit stalling and sell the Alhambra?
She told you. A personal, sacred matter, and she tells you.
Miss Dora's a good friend of mine.
And did she tell you I gotta sell my place to McGuire?
Well, he made you the best offer by $5,000, didn't he?
But I don't know very much about the man, Wyatt. I've always run a good, honest place. Barring the use of an occasional Mickey Finn to keep the customers in order and save you a bit of trouble arresting them.
McGuire's going to have to run a decent place. If he tries any tricks, I'll close him. Anyway, this is all just an excuse.
Huh?
You want to welch on Miss Dora. The old Nick's too strong in you.
Indeed, now. I'll go over there and sign the papers this very minute.
All right, there's the door, and you know where the Alhambra is.
Are you trying to rush me?
No, but I do feel sorry for Miss Dora.
How's that?
Well, here she goes and sells her nice little dance hall and buys a home the other side of town, and you just back out.
Well, selling a dance hall ain't the same as selling a place like the Alhambra.
It's the same principle.
No, it is not. Well, that saloon's been a home to me, Wyatt. I like the smell of it, and the noise, and the talk my customers bring in from the trails. You not being a drinking man, you got no heart for the Alhambra. It's been my very life these 5 years. They'll miss old Jim, the boys will. I feel like I'm deserting them.
Well, all right, then don't sell it.
And give up Dora?
Well, sure, why not?
That's the real Wyatt Earp talking. A whited sepulcher. Trying to break up the holy bonds of matrimony. Well, I'm selling that saloon, and I'm marrying Dora. And the likes of you can't stop me.
Hello, McGuire. Hello. Unexpected you.
Good. Have the boy tie the horse up. Hey.
Come inside. I want to talk to you.
There ain't nothing to be that afraid of.
Well, Earp and I aren't exactly friendly. You can never tell who'll listen and carry tales. Is Kelly going to sell?
Well, he's got to sell. If you owned a saloon and Dora Hand agreed to marry you if you sold, well, how long could you wait, Brother Albright?
Well, I'm a happily married man.
Sure. Jim ain't so happy about it, though. He feels so bad, they tell me he's drinking his own whiskey.
That's what I figured.
I don't think it hurt his brain.
Doesn't have to. Just well-oiled and anxious to get it over with. Here's the bill of sale and the transfer of the real estate.
Does it have to be this long? Kelly might get suspicious.
I know Jim. It'll be a wrench for him, parting with the Alhambra. He won't even bother to read the inventory of the stock and furnishings. In matters of business, Jim is a little careless and impulsive. Now, here's the really important item hidden on the middle of page 3.
And to Wyatt Earp, who will have a 20% interest in the business. Hey, won't we need Earp's signature on this to make it legal?
I'll take care of that later.
Forgery, huh? Well, Earp will deny it.
We don't have handwriting experts out here, Mr. McGuire. I've got a clerk working for me that can make Earp's name pass on a bank check.
Yeah, but we're handing him 20% of a good business.
Temporarily. Just temporarily. I'm lending you half the price with no interest. But if you get cold feet...
Oh, no. I'll make the deal. You really must despise Earp.
He's cost me thousands. We don't need a church deacon running a closed town. A wide open town is good for business.
Well, I'll go along with that. It's a deal. All the way.
All the way.
Just one. Straight.
You made up your mind to do it?
Yeah. Come on. McGuire will keep you on, Soapy. You and all the boys.
Thanks. It won't be the same.
Oh, what's the difference? One saloon's the same as another.
No, sir. This was more than a saloon the way you run it, Mr. Kelly. The cowhands come busting through them doors like hungry kids into their mama's kitchen. When the next outfit drives to Dodge and someone yells, "Hey, where's Kelly?" I sure hate to tell him.
Ah, shut up. McGuire talks like a good, honest Irishman.
Yeah, but he ain't no Jim Kelly.
He'll sell 'em good stuff. He won't cold deck the cards. If he does, Earp will close him. And if he sees they had too much, he'll throw 'em out. Same as I always done.
You reckon he'll stake him to grub and tobacco money and pay their doctor bills if they're broke and sick and...
Shut up, I said. See who it is.
It's Mr. McGuire.
Let him in. I'll be in the back room.
You sure you don't want to change your mind?
No, let him in.
Come in, Mr. McGuire.
Oh, hello, Soapy.
He's in the back room.
Thanks. 14,000, 14,500, 15,000. There, better count it yourself.
I counted it. The place is yours.
Now, Mr. Kelly, your signature in two places, the bill of sale and the real estate transfer.
I don't need all this stuff, neither do you. You paid the money, we shake hands.
Look, I had to borrow part of the money from the bank. As far as you and I go, we shake hands.
suspend me.
But, Wyatt, how can you be...
Albright doesn't want me fired. Wants to set me up for a killing.
Without your star and guns. And you expect me to...
I want to catch Albright. Now, you, call Mr. McGuire in here, suspend me, and tell him that you're going to have a full investigation.
After you're dead? Now, Wyatt.
I know it's risky. It's the only way to get the goods on Albright. He hired Clay Allison to gun me. All I did is punch his face. And this time I really want to discourage him. We gotta go along with this plan. If we don't, Albright's gonna keep trying until he does get me.
But without your guns, you'll be a sitting duck.
Mr. Mayor, I have never been a sitting duck. Now, please do me this favor.
Favor? Well, all right. Mr. McGuire.
Oh.
Mr. Earp denies everything. He says the signature was forged.
You believe that?
I don't know what to believe. But pending a full investigation, I have no choice but to suspend Mr. Earp. Take off your star and guns.
You're the mayor. But I'm not going to need my guns. I'm going to beat your brains out with my fists. Now, you keep your saloon closed and get out of town.
You heard him threaten me. The Alhambra stays open. And don't come down there looking for me. You might get into trouble. You better keep him here till he cools off.
Yes. Mr. Earp, you're under temporary arrest for your own good.
You keep the Alhambra closed.
You're not the marshal now. My place will be running high, wide, and handsome the rest of the evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Well, here we go, fellas. She's open, boys, wide open. Earp's been suspended, so he ain't marshal no more. You can all wear your guns, and tonight, the fun's all on Butch McGuire. Come on in.
Well, now you know the whole story. Try and talk some sense into his head. I can't.
Why take chances, Wyatt?
Yeah, Mayor Hoover will fix things in the morning.
We'll go in there with guns and clean the whole place out.
No, I'll do it my way.
But you won't get a chance to use your fist on McGuire. Him and his gang will stage a fake free-for-all.
Yeah, they'll cut you down and say it was accidental.
Whose life is it?
Go along with him, boys. I appoint you his bodyguards until he's reinstated as marshal.
No, you stay out of it. Now, you promised me I could handle this. You gonna back out on that?
No.
Thank you, sir.
Wyatt.
Oh, you heard about it, huh?
Yes, and you're not going near that place. Jim would never forgive me if I let anything happen to you.
You want Mr. Kelly to stay in the saloon business?
No, Wyatt, but you...
Now, listen to me, Miss Dora. I try to let the other fellow make the mistakes. I guess that's why I've gone on living.
Yes, but you can't go after McGuire empty-handed. Isn't that foolish?
Look, Pete Albright tricked Kelly into selling to a hoodlum. Now, if I can just get the goods on Albright, the court will seize the business. The court won't sell it back to Mr. Kelly, I promise you that. I got quite a stake in both of you, you know.
Yes, but not at the cost of your own life.
Well, I'm not quite that sentimental. Anyway, there's kind of a catch in this whole thing that Mr. Albright and McGuire don't know about. I guess Mayor Hoover, my deputy, should have known, but it kind of slipped their memory. Now, you just go on home and write a nice long letter to Mr. Kelly.
Earp's coming. No guns, no star.
Good. Business as usual, fellas. Everybody pretend we don't know.
Who starts it?
I do.
Yeah, well, then I better get...
Get hold of yourself. Earp ain't got arms 10 yards long.
Yeah, I know, but...
You stay here.
Sit down. All right, Mr. McGuire, take off your guns and step outside.
Why, sure.
Start shooting, all of you.
Now, Mr. Albright, you start. Or I will.
got 2 loads left. Who's next?
Deputies, arrest Earp. He's not the marshal. He's got no right to carry a gun.
Mr. Albright, you framed me. I want you to admit that.
Oh.
You got 1 good hand left. I'll wait until you draw.
No. No, don't.
Mr. Albright and Mr. McGuire didn't know I was a deputy federal marshal. They're under arrest for forging my name. It's a federal offense.
But the rest of them, what?
Take them all to jail. I want this place cleaned up. Clem, pick up the guns.
Come on.
Gun belts on.
Go on.
Move.
Come on, you can walk the double parties. Give me a hand. Take him to the dock.
Are you all right, White?
Just like old times.
Mr. Kelly, what are you doing back?
I've always been here.
He says he came back to get some souvenirs. Now, what would he be doing with a bunch of souvenirs from a saloon?
Nothing, and he knows it. It doesn't belong to you, Mr. Kelly. Now, the court's going to be seizing this whole place.
That's all right, Kelly. You've still got Dora.
That's right, Dora.